The topic I will be teaching about today is gender inequality at home and work. So with that being said, this presentation will take a deeper dive into gender inequality and how social norms of men and women can be the cause of it. One of the social norms is to set gender roles in a family. This means that both men and women have certain responsibilities to uphold. Women are more expected to take on household responsibilities, where men are seen as being more obligated to be the primary source of income for a family. According to the material in the course book titled The Family, Diversity, Inequality, and Social Change, 4th edition, Chapter 5, page 174, discusses how feminist scholars argue that gender inequality is a social construct rather than a natural instinct. These family experiences can differ based on three major things: race, ethnicity, and social class. Cultural bias against different races can lead to lower paying jobs. Many women of color are discriminated against, which ultimately leads to lower paying jobs as well. This can really obscure the social class of a person, not allowing them to climb up the economic ladder. Prejudice based on genders, race, and ethnicities is just increasing inequality for hardworking people and families. Not only does social class, race, gender, and ethnicity play a major role in worsening inequality, but so does religion. A second piece of content I would like to highlight to further support this idea is from Chapter 5, page 184 of the course book. The information states that the more religion there is in populations, surprisingly, the more inequality there is. I say surprisingly because religion is based on a strong idea of morals that say to treat everyone with respect and as equals. According to the peer-reviewed article titled Help or Hindrance: Religion's Impact on Gender Inequality in Attitudes and Outcomes, gender inequality can actually be traced to religious institutions. This is because many religions have texts that often assign different gender roles, tending to favor male dominance. Women are seen as a maternal figure that has certain obligations. For example, according to the same article, religious institutions can even pressure women to think that they need to have children to feel completely fulfilled. After discussing some of the aspects that worsen inequality, it is important to discuss how gender inequality can look in a household or at a workplace. There is a direct relationship between resources and domestic work. The relation between these two is power. According to the peer-reviewed article titled Gender Inequality in the Home, the Role of Relative Income, Support for Traditional Gender Roles, and Perceived Entitlement, inequality can look different for men and women. The article states that education can play a direct role in gender inequality. For example, women have higher education than their husbands, and they tend to do less housework. This is because the women have an opportunity to make the income. This shows how the amount of education can ultimately affect the inequality between men and women in the household. Women are often associated more with children than they are with careers. Therefore, creating a fixed gender construct where the roles of genders are often not reversed will lead to inequality. On the other hand, men also face inequality in the home. Work-life balance and custody are two major examples I would like to focus on. Men may feel a strong pressure to prioritize work since they are often seen as the moneymaker. This can lead to extreme stress. So oftentimes in society, if a husband or male of the family has a high demanding job, this could lead to them being more absent in the household or even making it harder to balance work and family simultaneously. They can face inequality since they are expected to uphold even more responsibilities than just work. And lastly, custody is an inequality barrier that men can face after a divorce in a household. According to the same peer-reviewed article, equal custody rights can be hard to get because in the court of law, more cases than not portray women as being more fit to take care of the children. This stereotype for men can lead to unfair rulings. There's also gender inequality in the workplace. According to the book material titled The Family, Diversity, Inequality, and Social Change, Truck drivers make more money than nurse aides make, even though they both require the same amount of work. This information is important in supporting the idea of inequality in the workplace because there can be detrimental outcomes of this. Segregation of occupations, stereotyping, and occupation barriers can stem from this. So, relating back to the statement made about nurses and truck drivers, women may feel restricted to go into male-dominant jobs because of deeming some jobs more for women and others more for men. So, according to the peer-reviewed article titled Gender Inequality in Medicine, Too Much Evidence to Ignore, a Yale study conducted proved that men actually do 75% of the talking in a mixed-gendered group. This is important to note because women are often stereotyped as talking too much in a workplace. These untrue stereotypes can lead to certain genders being surpassed for promotions, not acknowledged for their hard work, or not taken seriously in the work environment. Lastly, there are many occupation barriers. For example, the same article states how women attorneys are more than twice as likely than men to get disbarred for unethical infractions. This shows that even though men and women have the same exact implications in the workplace, there can be inequality and repercussions as well. So, in order to tie this whole presentation together, I would like to discuss my first-hand experience of when I witnessed gender inequality in household and at work. So, for this, I will be discussing the roles my parents had as I grew up. So, my mom was a stay-at-home mom that took care of groceries, cleaning, taking care of the 4 children, and a bunch of other household responsibilities, whereas my dad had his own business to make an income to support our family. So both my parents aren't responsible for creating gender inequality for each other. More so, the fixed gender roles created the inequality. So what I mean by this is that my mom was seen more as the caregiver and my dad was seen more as the money supporter. So both of my parents fell into their own responsibilities to take care of the family. There was still inequality that I noticed though. So according to the peer-reviewed article titled Measuring Inequality Within the Household, families will either be taxed based off of if they have conjoined incomes or separate ones. So since there was only one income in my family made by my dad, my mom didn't really have the ability to make money decisions without him, but it wasn't the other way around. Whereas my dad faced gender inequality in the household through household decision making. Since my mom was at home with the kids and taking care of the house, she would make the decisions, including when the children went to sleep, their sleep schedules, or even just normal punishments if we misbehaved. Altogether, everyone should respect the choices made by men and women in a household or at work. Whether a person wants to take care of the home, make an income, or do both, they should be able to. It's important to treat everyone as equals and give everyone equal opportunities as well.